On the path to achieving goals, whether in personal life or in a career, there are 3 steps to follow. The first is wanting, the second is focusing on the present moment, and the third is taking action. This formula is very powerful and simple. It can be considered the path to success. But have you ever asked yourself what is missing or needs to happen for you to follow this path? When we procrastinate, we postpone everything, dragging our actions into the future, which leaves us stagnant in our growth. If we keep going like this, another year will end, and we'll be in the same place without much progress. According to scientific studies, this behavior is one of the worst enemies of our goals and brings a lot of frustration. That's the bad news. The good news is that with self-awareness, we can change this, learn to create new behaviors, and better manage our emotions. Traits of procrastination. Let's first examine a common trait among procrastinators. In most cases, they are afraid to deal with their problems, avoiding facing the truth. Putting off for tomorrow or later what could have been resolved today. In other words, postponing the completion of a task as long as possible has become one of the most common contemporary behaviors. They prefer to deal with the guilt of not meeting a deadline at work, for example, or even with the stress that comes from it, rather than diving into themselves to understand the root of the problem. It's essential to reach the cause, as procrastination is just a symptom. Procrastination carries with it the feeling that there are always things to be done and tasks to be completed. As a result, the procrastinator is always rushing, busy, and behind on their commitments. Every time they say or think, "I'm busy," they don't assess, for example, the suffering they are causing themselves. It's like being in a never-ending loop. In some situations, delaying what needs to be done can be a way to escape and fill one's time. The key here is to understand what is work overload, which isn't positive and needs to be reviewed and organized, and what is procrastination, which is something we can do today with effort, dedication, and love, without pushing it into the future, using false excuses as justification. The corporate environment is not the only place where procrastination occurs. People often commit to a greater number of activities in their daily lives, which often makes them more versatile and capable of handling multiple tasks outside the professional realm. This dual workload, in some situations, becomes a reason to delay tasks, as necessary choices must be made to maintain physical and mental well-being. The question here is to identify whether it is truly the right decision or simply procrastination. In the workplace, however, there are no differences. Both men and women procrastinate equally. Through self-awareness, it is possible to identify weaknesses and insecurity triggers that prevent us from moving forward. We all have positive and negative points. We are in the process of evolving. Therefore, being willing to do your best today is the path to avoid constantly pushing actions into the future. It's worth noting that, in the corporate world, this emotional skill is highly valued. Having an engaged employee, connected with a company's mission, and who is productive, is a significant competitive advantage and provides a strong boost to career success. Another fundamental point in this behavior change is identifying your vicious cycle of procrastination, the loop. Often, and perhaps for the majority, this is related to the difficulty of dealing with the truth. It's as if we prefer to deal with the guilt of being late, always owing something and stressed, rather than facing the real internal issues that cause us these problems. Some people, in their daily tasks and work, carry with them a mindset that if they are up to date with their goals and activities, something is likely wrong. The work might not have been well done, or, because it was done quickly, it may not be valued as much. It's necessary to show that I'm overloaded and stressed to be recognized. And you see, this makes no sense when someone is self-confident and self-aware. Meeting deadlines actually demonstrates organization, enthusiasm, and commitment to yourself, to those around you, and to your work. Anything that deviates from this is a cruel and imposed distortion that throws us into the abyss of procrastination. Escape this. By identifying this cycle, bring the truth to light, and stay on the right path. Strategies to break this cycle. You might still be asking, how can I move forward with more strategies to break this procrastination cycle? How can I do things differently from now on? The answer is to decide on behavior change combined with a lot of practice, continuously and daily. If I live in the present, I don't procrastinate. I do now what needs to be done. And to be present, It's essential to pay attention to yourself to truly understand the amount of work you can handle fully, with focus and happiness. A good start is to ask yourself, why do I need to complete this task or meet this goal? What personal gain will I have from this? What positivity will I bring to my life as a whole, beyond the corporate environment, by being recognized for my achievements, by being more productive? The gains are numerous. Feeling valued, recognized for your potential and skills, being proud of yourself, your achievements and your contributions, growing professionally, having the possibility to realize your personal dreams and those of the people you love. These gains are essential motivations, and it takes practice to focus on them. Everything we focus on grows before us. That's why a fundamental point is also bringing attention to the now. Another trait of those who live in procrastination is the feeling of always running against time. I often say it's like having one foot in the past, on what was left undone, and another in the future on what still needs to be done. By being stuck in these two worlds, it's as if the present doesn't exist, and because of this, nothing is done, and today's tasks aren't completed, thus feeding the procrastination cycle. The result of this is more anxiety. The tip is, be careful with feelings that steal your attention and take your focus away from the present. Pay attention to your thoughts, and when this happens, bring yourself back to today. Start by breathing deeply and slowly. Breathing is what brings us to the present. Breathe in calmly. This helps bring your focus to the now. Repeat this exercise a few times. You bring new oxygen to your brain and train yourself to bring this attention back to you. Then move forward with what needs to be done. What step can you take? Add your confidence, your love, roll up your sleeves, and do what needs to be done. This is the formula. Here, we offer some organizational suggestions to finally understand how to stop procrastinating. Have a planner or agenda to write down your activities. If you prefer, it can be a wall board functioning as an action spreadsheet. In this planning, include both your work activities and activities aimed at your pleasure. Make a list of activities that make you feel good. This way, you can schedule both work tasks and those that bring you joy. Break down large tasks into smaller ones and check off what has been completed. This helps remind your mind that you are making progress, reducing the anxiety of not having finished yet. Think about the benefits of completing a task. Start by visualizing yourself smiling when you finish that mission. The mind does not differentiate between reality and imagination, and this visualization will help you not to give up. Finally, celebrate the completion of each task. When you celebrate, your brain understands that you are satisfied and that the action makes you happy. This will make your brain more proactive. The result is a new habit, more dynamic and energetic. And when you least expect it, you'll see procrastination disappear, never to return.